Every agent has one of 5 superpowers. Which one is yours? Welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. Today, I want to reveal to you 5 superpowers of the uber successful real estate professionals. Now, you know me. I have spent 29 years of my life dissecting, interviewing, probing, coaching, training, working with, hanging out with, and learning what's going on up here in the minds of the most successful agents, from brand new agents that sell 67 homes their first year in the business to 80-year-old veterans down in La Jolla, California, consistently producing $1 million a year in GCI for 20 straight years, or the rock star agent that seamlessly comes from nowhere and is suddenly doing nearly $500 million a year in sales. What do they all have in common? The answer is they've all identified their superpower and then they amplify it. They go all in on it. So, your job today, as you're watching this show, is to just, number one, become more aware of it. We know that awareness is the first step of change. The moment you can say, wait a minute, so Maxine Gellens does that. If I take and I do the same things that she's doing, I'm going to produce a similar and maybe even better result. So awareness is number one. Number two, acknowledge where you are. Now, I don't want you to say, oh gosh, Tom, I don't have any of these superpowers. We all have a little bit. The key is that the most successful agents, the uber successful agents, they go all in on a few of their superpowers, and that's what makes them wildly successful. So you want to find the 1 or 2 that are right for you, that are more aligned with your natural DNA, and then lean in heavy. And then number 3, obviously, is I want you to make some decisions and then commit, right? Decide and commit. If you're one of my coaching members, this is going to be one of those shows that you're going to have a conversation with your coach and say, you know, you and I have been discussing number 3. I know I need to do it. It really does align with me. It is a part of my natural DNA, but for some reason I've been resisting. Let me get back to a growth mindset and jump all in. All right, so let's go through the 5, no order of importance. Number 1. This shouldn't shock you, by the way. When you look at their superpower, we're really talking about what gives them like unbelievable energy and focus and passion. And it's very simple, my friends. The most successful agents are constantly setting ambitious goals. Now think about it. When you have a goal, you're imbued with the spirit to act. You're imbued with the spirit to act, meaning you are inspired to go out and take the right actions. Now think about it. Has there been a time in your life where you didn't have a goal? Generally speaking, everyone's experienced that, and we know what happens when you don't have a goal. When you don't have a goal, you and I both know what happens. Zig Ziglar called it, you become a wandering generality, right? Whatever happens, happens. You become a victim to the circumstances of the environment. And today, where the streets are paved with gold in our industry, if you aren't setting daily, weekly, monthly goals, annual goals that fire you up, and I want to be clear, it's not just the goal, it's the act of writing it out and saying, this week, this is what I'm committed to. This week, I'm gonna get those 3 listings. This month, I'm gonna have my best month ever and I'm gonna have 10 transactions, or I'm gonna go on 20 appointments. It's setting the goal that fires them up and gets them into massive action. That's the superpower, number 1. Number 2, super important. One of the things that I've noticed, and I could actually give a shout out to so many individuals on this, one in particular, a gal named Shauna Covington from Laguna Beach, California. When I first met her nearly 15 years ago, she basically said to me, Tom, I have 6 listings. And anytime I have more than 6 listings, I can't handle it. I get out of control. You know, so if you're gonna tell me that I need to have a big inventory, then I can't do this. Well, what if I told you today that if she has less than 18 listings, she begins to panic? Now you're saying, well, Tom, what's the superpower? Is it having listings? No, what the very best, the uber successful agents have in common as a superpower is they've created for themselves standards in their business and they maintain them. Standards in their business. If I walked inside your office and said, show me on your wall or on your bathroom mirror at your house, what are your standards? Now think about it. If I asked you personally, do you brush your teeth every day? You're gonna say yes, and some people, their standard is 3 times a day, right? That's a standard. Now you might say, how does that relate to my business? Well, what if I told you that many successful agents have a standard for the number of appointments they're absolutely going to set every single week. That literally, I think of so many agents I've worked with and talked to, and all of our coaches have experienced this, where they say, what's your number? Coach, I got to get 3 appointments every single week. And if it's, Friday night at 6 o'clock, I'm calling mom to book an appointment, because it's just ingrained in my psyche. It is a standard that I've set for myself that I simply refuse to fall below. You with me? They refuse to fall below the standard. So one is around weekly appointments. One might be, as I mentioned with Shauna, active listings. Another could be, I always need to have this many escrows, this many pending. And of course, we know that they're closing and a percentage fall apart, unfortunately, but they set that number and say, that's where I feel good, and that's where my business is humming along, and I'm going to achieve my goals. So I refuse to fall below it. And of course, another standard you might want to think about is how much money you keep inside your business and checking and savings account, right? I talk to too many agents, and we quickly work on this, that I say, what's your standard for savings in your business account? Oh, if I have 15, 20, 30 grand inside there, I feel good. And I say, well, what does it cost you to run your business? Well, it costs me 15, 20. Whoa, you have a 1 month supply of income inside your business? What if something goes haywire? So we always want to be looking for ways to identify the standard and then raise it. Here's the key though. The superpower is that they refuse to allow themselves to go below. We've talked about it before on the Tom Ferry Show. Too many people are poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich. And guess what? They allow that to be a standard for themselves, where the uber successful agent, they write it out and they commit to it and they say, this is the number. So maybe it's 1 sale a month to start. Or maybe it's 1 sale a week. Maybe it's 5 sales a week. Only you know where you're at and what that next benchmark will be. But know this, if your desire is to become one of the most successful agents on the planet, every single one of them has standards that they're looking to maintain every day. Look at number 3, which leads very nicely into this. The uber successful agents, what makes them unique is twofold in this. Number 1, their ability to eliminate the distractions. Think about it, right? I talk to people all the time and I say, well, did you make your phone calls? Did you do this? Did you take action? The things you committed to in your plan. Oh no, Tom, I got distracted by this, my cell phone, social media, friends inside the office, something happening, whatever, right? There's always something. What makes the most extraordinary people, what makes them extraordinary is their ability to eliminate the distractions and to focus on the 6 most important dollar productive activities. That, stuff's happening, the world's, something's going on, something's happening inside the office, a deal's falling apart, but they know that these 6 are what ultimately drives the results of their business, and no matter what, they refuse to miss the 6. Number 1 is practicing, role-playing. Now I know you may say, Tom, wait a minute, you're telling me that the most successful agents on the planet are practicing and role-playing? 1,000% yes. Now they might do it differently than, say, at our Sales Edge event, where we're practicing and rehearsing for multiple days to improve our confidence and skills and our language patterns. Maybe they're doing it in their car on the drive over in their mind. I'm going to say this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try this, I'm going to make sure I mention this, I'm going to close with this. Every one of the most successful agents is practicing either in their head or out loud, so they don't practice on the customer. Number 2 is they're all doing some form of prospecting. Now that could be today, sending out a text message, sending out an email, or it could be making a phone call, knocking on a door, doing an open house. What they understand is this, that every day they got to be pumping that well to ensure that their pipeline is robust enough to make sure, number 2, they maintain their standards. So prospecting is critical. Again, I'm not talking about dirty old man by the river looking for gold. We know where the gold is, my friend. We know where the gold is. In your database, doing open houses, online leads, agent-to-agent referrals, and all the other things we've covered on Tom Ferry shows. Now, the third one, of course, is following up and setting appointments. Now, let's be clear. If you just did what the best agents do, which is they get leads and they follow up, we know all the studies. We see all the research. The average agent follows up on a lead 1 time. Well, I sent him a message, they didn't respond. I sent him an email, they didn't respond. What do we know? Go back to tomferry.com and search, follow-up campaign, where we talk about 10 contacts in 10 days, where we're basically going to follow up until they buy or die, is sort of the metaphorical example. That is a superpower. Number 4, going on appointments, obvious. Number 5, being in negotiations as much as we can all the time. And then those with teams have figured out that one of the most important dollar-producing activities is the ability to transfer their skills over to the people on their team, to multiply themselves and create that geometric growth that they all desire. So stop for just a second. I've gone through now 3 of these. There's 5 superpowers. One of 2 things is happening. Either right now you're going, yeah, baby, coach, I'm on track. I got 1 going, I got 2 going, 3, I got some work I can do here. Or you're going, oh man, how am I gonna ever do all this stuff? If you're a brand new agent or you're a 30-year veteran, remember, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. It's just 1 or 2 little adjustments that we're gonna begin to build on your success. I'm not asking you to do all 5 on Tuesday. I'm asking you to just slowly align your behaviors with 1 or 2 things that'll move the needle for you. That's what it's all about. Let's go to number 4. This is an easy one. One of the superpowers I've noticed, and I've seen this, it is so obvious when I say it. I can't wait to get your comments on, whether it's on tomferry.com or on YouTube or somewhere on social about this. They have huge levels of energy. Can you name a mega successful agent that doesn't have a pep in their step, that isn't a little fired up? Now they might demonstrate it and show it differently. Some walk fast, some talk fast, right? Some are laser focused and they walk through the office in their own way, but every single one of them has energy. Now the question is, were they born that way or did they generate it and create it? Look, we all have some level of energy. I mean, we're not sloths, right? We all have some energy, but what I know about the very best is they do 4 or 5 things on a weekly basis, a daily basis in many cases, that actually gives them that extra edge. You with me on this? So whether it is words and self-talk, or I listen to music, some people listen to music, gets them fired up in the morning. Nutrition, they eat consistently throughout the day and they eat for energy. They eat for energy. Obviously staying hydrated, super important. And then the last one is they exercise. The number of people I talk to that today are losing 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds. And as they're doing it, they're like, coach, you're not gonna believe this. As I'm losing the weight, my energy is going through the roof, my productivity is going through the roof, my cognition is going through the roof. Woof? They're remembering. Don't edit that at all. I love woof. That's good. Their cognition, their ability to take in information, retain it, and then act on it. That's all energy, my friends. Let's look at the last one, number 5. This is my favorite, because this is something that I feel as an organization we've had a lot to do with. You look at sales and you say there's basically 2 approaches, qualitative and quantitative, right? Qualitative, how do you feel? Quantitative, what's the math? What's the numbers? What we're seeing, especially now, certainly over the last decade, is the number of uber successful agents that are running their business like a business based upon the math, right? They're not making all their decisions based on how they feel. I don't care in many cases how you feel if I'm asking you about the market. I want to know, what are the numbers telling me? What's selling, what's not selling, what's being reduced, what's going for over asking, how many offers are happening. The most successful agents are taking this quantitative approach where they study the market, they know the numbers, and then they're able to act on those numbers. So here's what I wrote down. Ready? Charisma is not enough. That's what I want you to get. Charisma, that qualitative feeling, your ability, your swagger, it's important, my friends, but if you want to have a sustainable, huge business over decades, you've got to look at it from a math standpoint, a quantitative standpoint. So here's what I know, here's what I believe. The first thing they do is they track and measure everything that matters. So if it matters, they track and measure. I sent out the email, what was the open rates, how many clicks did I get, how many leads did I generate? As an example, we made, today as a team, everybody made 22 calls, right? How many people did we talk to? How many people did we generate a lead from? How many appointments did we book? They understand that the business is math. That yes, there's this element of charisma and the way we feel. I get it. But the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. So for example, now they recognize that when my team makes this many contacts in a month, we sell that many houses. It's math, which leads me to the second part. They are looking for ways to have repeatable and scalable growth in their business. What is repeatable and scalable? What is it that every time we do A, B, C, we get 1, 2, 3, and then you know what they do? They go all in on it. right? They go all in, not on how I feel about open houses, because I know people that don't like the feeling of open houses, but they love the math and the numbers and the success that they generate from it. Do you get the difference? It's like, who cares how you feel? Follow the numbers and you're gonna win. The last thing, obviously, is that they use the data to make good decisions, that they're looking at the numbers of their business. For example, by using the data, we make better decisions. One of my clients said to me recently, Tom, I noticed that 76% of the listings that I take don't sell at that asking price. What it's telling me is I'm overpricing the properties to, in many cases, win the listing, and then I've got to beat them down to ultimately get it priced correctly and sell. See, just that simple observation of the numbers. Or, hey, Tom, I'm sending out this email marketing piece, but nobody's opening it up. I'm not getting a response. Does that mean that email is bad, or do we need to test and try something new? See, the data, when we finally slow down and look at the business analytically, it allows us to make good decisions. Now, we've done multiple shows here where we've talked about the power of tracking and the power of measuring, and we all know that when you track and measure anything you're working towards, you get a bump in your productivity. When you track and measure and you report it back to somebody, the growth becomes exponential. I mean, that's IBM speaking, not Tom Ferry. It's unbelievable what happens. So now, sitting here as we wrap this up, I wrote down there are 5 things, 5 superpowers of these uber successful agents. Number 1, they set ambitious, continuous goal setting all the time. It fires them up. Number 2, they've got high standards for themselves and they fight like mad to maintain it. Number 3, they've learned to eliminate the distractions and do the 6 most important dollar-producing activities. They create huge levels of energy. And by the way, did I mention that energy is attractive to buyers and sellers? I mean, when was the last time you met with a salesperson who was a slug and said, boy, I want more of that? No, you're thinking, get that person, that energy-sucking vampire away from me. So huge levels of energy. And the last one, they take a quantitative approach to running their business by design. So now the $64,000 question for you is, based upon this show, what are you gonna do? Maybe you start with a little assessment of yourself and you look at the 5 and you say, where am I weak? Where am I strong? Where do I need to put more intention? And then I would ask you to simply make a decision. What's one thing you can begin to operationalize in your business to begin to move forward and maybe watch this show again in the next 30 days. Share it with a few of your friends. Have a discussion. Become more aware around the superpowers that are available to you that are probably lying dormant inside you now, and it's time to turn them on. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you share this show. Remember, always your strategy matters, and now more than ever, your superpowers absolutely rule. Hey, you're the kind of person like me who's always looking for great stuff, new ideas, innovation, and ways to improve my life and my business. Check out the link below at tomferry.com/agent-tools because I've got lots of great stuff for you there.